Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Northag preview as we go into part number 4, which has a lot of new stuff as well, as we have the first Polish division coming in here now, the Korpus Desantowy, and that one is a really hot one as it has marine and airborne forces of the Polish army in it, and they bring a lot of interesting stuff to the battlefield. Starting in the recon tab here with some normal Dejan supply trucks, some BAW Yuki kind of supply trucks with only 500 supply, but really good looking model. This looks like a fun ride, not gonna lie. The Topaz R3M as a CV unit, the first of many Topaz to see. And then a PTS at 1500 supply variant, a good bit bigger, a real nice boaty. Mi 6 ZPD has another 2000 supply helicopter, the big old Mi 6 here coming in, and Dejant and a BRDM as your 3 availability leaders. So really good choices of supply and decent choices of command as well. Infantry tab, we start with the 7.6mm MG. We have a 4 deploy variant with the Dejants as well. The marine variant here only coming in with normal deploy. Has Resolute versus 4 deploy. Resolute on these guys. Not super important, but with 4 hit points now it might actually matter, because they actually might get stressed before they die. The Dejant Saperzi coming in here with RPG 76 Pomar. It's a pretty weak one, only 12 damage, only 500 meter range. Then the Dejant Saperzi with satchel charges, PKMs, and 8. That's a decent special forces shock Saperi unit here. Flamethrower variant as well with only 3 men though. So 25 points only. This is a pretty risky unit to push forward with. But on defense it can be decent, though with 3 hit points I'm not quite sure how well they will be, especially 6 availability is the issue here. Like if they would go up to 9 or so, or 12 maybe, but with 6 availability, not really. Then we have the Marine variant, which can come with the Topaz. No forward deploy here. These guys having Resolute, like all Marines. And they have a really interesting flamethrower unit, as these guys have 3 flamethrowers. So this is a scary squadron to run again. The Topaz 2A with 15 points, and Amphibious, no smoke on the Topaz though. So these guys can't defend themselves. The leader here coming with a RPG and a smoke grenade. So the preferable most likely as well, even though, yeah, it's 3 versus 6 hit points, but you also pay only 30 points for these, whilst they have a smoke grenade. That is pretty solid. Their Tuzhnia Dejant here, their tank hunter unit with double RPG 7VL. That is a pretty decent tank hunter squadron. Double 18 damage RPGs with 675 meter range. That is pretty helpful. A decent one here. 7 hit points with 7 AKs, can defend themselves okay as well. And they come in the normal Gus with 4 deployment. Then with the Marines here with the Nijeski Beretti with Topaz 2A and the AP variant, which costs 10 point more, but has a KPVT that also has helicopter and aircraft range. So this is an AA turret there on top. So it is actually a pretty decent transport for 25 points. You can attack helicopters that try to run you over, though 2100 meter range against helicopters is not a great range, and 1775 meters against aircraft is basically irrelevant with the aim time they got. So yeah, these guys can come in there. The 14.5mm on its own though might already be worth it. No smoke on that weapon either. The leader itself with smoke and 8 men, that's a good one as well. The Niberski Beretti as the normal infantry for the Marines here. 2 PKMs, 10 more weapons, and an RPG 7 VM. 14 damage, 675 meter range, a decent RPG rocket there. The Topaz variants here as transports. 12-man squad with 9 availability. This is a really strong card in that regard, but they also cost 80 points, so they are pretty pricey. but the 12 hit points is a really nice squadron. It's for a regular force unit with good traits as well. So those are interesting and a force to reckon with. If you fill out their slots, you get 4 cards of those, so you can really get a lot of infantry out with this deck. The Desant SPG9 and Fagot ATGMs, the Polish not getting any better ATGM than that, which is a troublesome issue. You get a normal PPK Fagot team as well down here. This one here coming only with UATs. The one down here has more interesting transport. UATs SPG9 for the Desants. And here we have the Ochrona with RPG and 1 RPK. They have the security force and the military police force, which is not that important here in this case. The Ochrona are not that key here really for that fight. PPK Fagot with Topaz with double SPG9. This is a really funny looking vehicle. Double RPG9 here on the rear. Topaz 2A as normal transport and the UATs. And then the Dejan Commandosi as the special forces here. 8 hit points, triple PKM, and 5 Tantal assault rifles here. This is a strong squad. The triple PKM with the special forces really mean that they get decent damage. They are not supposed to really use their shock forces, as these are medium machine guns. You want to stay stationary and fire away. But then the special force really helps him out with the damage and moving around. Not a strong RPG, so they're not the most amazing special forces unit ever, but 6 availability on a 60-point unit here, 4 availability on highest vet, you usually take them. With the 4th deploy and all, they are really helpful, for sure better than the German Fallschirmjägers, though they have the weaker AT there, but the firepower here is quite good. The Spadochroniace leader here, as a shock leader for your airborne here. Which you have a couple more. Spadochroniace. God, sorry for all of this, guys. With AKMs, RPG-7VM, and smoke. That is a good one. And they have strong infantry as well. They have RPGs and SVDs here on the 9-man squadron. 7 AKMs next to that. The RPG as well. Medis only has the RPK, no SVD here, and then they have the PKM variant with 3 PKMs, only the weak AT though, but those are pretty strong infantry squadrons as well, so you have choices between really solid infantry here all around with the Commandosi, these guys down here, the Marine infantry that is with 12 hit points really beefy as well. You for sure won't struggle with the infantry tab in this deck. The only thing that the Polish don't really have is a fantastic AT launcher, but you at least get some 7VLs here, which is getting you into an okay status. Artillery is a good tab as well. You start with some mortars, including some forward deploy ones, though that is not all that important. They have the Vagilek variant here with the Vagilok for the airborne forces as well. And they have a little tote rocket launcher with the VP-8Z 140mm rocket launcher. Kinda looking like a World War II vintage, but that gives you nice firepower as well for a really cheap point. You always want to keep the UATs around so you can reposition these guys after firing, but you get 4 per card, so you can really set up a nice battery. Only 8 rockets, so you want to get multiple rockets out there at once, so 2 or 3 of them together. But that is a nice little unit for sure. 10 kilometer range is not amazing, but it's okay as well. The Godsdiga variant of them here, the 2SM1, S1M, and then we have the BM21 Grad and the 2S7 with the 203mm howitzer here, Pivonia in Polish servers as well. So you get big artillery in different forms, you get some nice little rocket launchers as well. This artillery tab is a pretty good one. When it comes to tools, slot-wise it's not amazing, but the first 3 filled out is functional. And the tank tab is okay for an airborne kind of unit as well, though not that strong and really limited in tabs. With PT-76s here as your amphibious little tankies. 10 availability currently on 1 vet for these guys. BRDM with Malutka Peace and Fagot ATGM, so no concourse here either. ASU 85 as a leader variant, and with 9 availability as your tank hunter here. ASU 85. A solid 85mm gun. It's really high penetration for an 85mm gun, actually, with 16 here at 1925 meter range. And 6 frontal armor at least means that you survive quite often the first hit. Though, with no smoke, getting another hit is pretty easy to take. You can't really escape there, as 40 kmh off-road speed is not that great either. At least you have mediocre stealth though, so this is an ambush tank similar to the Jagdpanzer on the German side. And yeah, the ASU 85, it might be worthwhile. 60 points is pretty pricey though. But yeah, it has the same penetration as the 100mm of the T55A. And there you get 1 card as well. And you get 1 card of the T55AS with the mine clearing tools on the back, which we will see quite a bit more in the other Polish decks as well of. And that is a pretty cool combo, because you can clean out infantry, destroy buildings, and you can also fire on vehicles and tanks with this. 11 frontal armor for both of these. It's the classic T55A variant here. Nothing fancy about that, outside of that. Recon tab, we start with some snipers. It's an SVD sniper unit. You know what I told you in the tier list. Those are not good. Even with the special forces, 850-meter sniper range teams are not great for the price currently. They're Sviatdovits, recon units here for the airborne with forward deploy and a helicopter option. Okay. 6 AKMs. This is a decent squad as well for recon, though they have a really weak AT weapon, but they can win against 4-man teams. For 40 points, that is fine. It's not great, but yeah, with forward deploy and all, this is okay. BRDM2 coming around here as another little recon unit with very good optics. We know a lot of them. BT-76B coming around as well. They don't have the 50 cal that the Polish had put on some of their BT-76s. Unfortunately, we don't have that in Warno yet. Maybe we can get it in the future, but yeah, currently all the Polish BT-76s are the same as for other nations. And then we have the cool looking W3 helicopters of the Polish, and this one here is not just cool looking, it is also a really cool unit, because it's our first vehicle mounted SIG-int unit, which I feel on vehicles is a lot better than on infantry. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how well these can be used. The W3 here is a really nice platform for it, with its relatively high speed. This one having 240 kmh, 6 hit points, very good optics outside of that. So yeah, it's a good recon helicopter. I'm really interested to see what you can bring with the SIG-int trait out of these guys. Then we have a special forces 6-man squads with 6 PM63 RAK submachine guns here, and RPG-7 VL at least. And that's their GSR unit of the Polish special forces. The special forces with these weapons still won't elevate you to any major amount of damage, but with a good rocket launcher here. And GSR for 60 points, that is a steal as well. 6 availability is good. Like, this is a good unit. So, yep, get them around into your decks as well. The AA tab starts with some Strela teams here. They have the Topaz with the Yacht on the back, and the Yacht is a really interesting ZSU variant, as it has not just the 2 ZSU guns here, the 23mm, but also double Strela 2 mounted on top of it. So this is a nice little AA piece, as it has against helicopters double fire on 2400 meter range. Against aircraft that come a bit too close, it can be quite helpful as well. It is, in my eyes, way better than a normal ZSU. And so here you, for 5 points more, you get them with the Strela 2s as well. And that is worthwhile. You get less availability as well, but you usually don't use 9 of these either. The Hyper KG gets them on the rear as well. The Struck here, the Dejan Strela don't get them with the forward deploy, but you get a forward deploy Strela team for protecting your forward deployment, and you get the AA guns here with forward deployment as well, so that is pretty nice. I feel like you want to get one cut of these, maybe one cut of these, and then one cut of these 3. Though with the slots being pretty rough as well. Helicopter-wise, more of the Sokol coming around here with 2 cuts of 2 each. We have a Strela variant and a pure rocket variant. They have a gun mounted as well here on the left side with 23mm. Currently pretty pricey, but it's still a pretty decent frame. Maybe they can go down lower in the future, but currently for 100 points I'm not convinced, especially if you can get double availability Mi-24s as well. You get some Kokon variant as well. Outside of that, the Falanga P variant that we kind of know from the East Germans as well, with 4 Falangas and then some rockets. And yeah, the Sokol for only 35 points don't have the ATGMs and have less hit points and are slower as well. So yeah, I feel like these guys should be pushed either to 3 availability, which would be fine by my end as well, or a bit cheaper price. I feel like 3 availability might be the sweet spot. Air is where we go next, which is a really solid air type as well. MiG-21 BIS with R3Rs, radar missiles, the weakest radar missiles we have in the game though, only 4,275 meter range, but at least a bit more range than the R60s next to them. And then, yeah, you get 6 missiles here on the MiG-21, that is pretty decent. You get 4 availability on this, so that's an okay card. Su-22s with big rockets and the R3R, the R60s. Then small rockets, or smaller rockets and the R60s. Napalm with R60s, the classic SUs, all with 30% ECM. And then we have MiG-29 with R27R and MiG-29s with only R73s. So decent air-to-air MiG-29s here with solid loadouts as well. The shotgun loadout basically, and with 6 missiles here and 6 missiles with 2 long-range missiles over here. 2 cuts of these, so you can get a lot of fighters into this deck if you want to. And you get decent more support aircraft down here. Su-22s, AT, Cluster, and Seat coming around as well. All with their weapon, the R60s, and 30% ECM. So a really good loadout there too. So yeah, this deck lives on its beefy and strong infantry with forward deployment. It has some tanks. The issue of this deck is that it has good artillery as well. It just doesn't have anything with high AP on the ground, because not even Conquerors, no long range guns, no long range ATGMs. So that is a problem. You kind of rely on your air and helicopters to provide you that. And there, for example, that's why I think that this should be buffed a bit more. But it is still a hot-looking unit. The Polish come in with some nice stuff here. And we have more Polish divisions to go over. 2 more coming in, so the Polish really coming in force. And this is a nice start here for them with some really nice, new, unique and new units. And yeah, let me know down below what you think about it. And don't you miss out on the rest of the preview videos. There is a playlist for all of them. And they are all coming around today and tomorrow. So see you next time, guys. Bye-bye, and have a great day.